You add lazily rubbing your eyes as you made your way downstairs with your hair in complete disarray. The aroma of freshly cooked food wafted through the air, making your stomach rumble. You wandered into the kitchen where your mother was busy preparing breakfast. What's cooking, Mom? You asked, your voice groggy. Without looking up, she replied, Jungkook's favorite breakfast. He's coming over. Your sleepiness vanished in an instant. Jungkook is coming. Why didn't you tell me? You screamed, startled by the sudden rush of excitement. Why are you shocked? A deep male voice questioned from behind you. You spun around, eyes wide, only to see your brother Theon walking toward you with a curious expression. What happened, Ryan? Why didn't you scream? Theon asked, his brow furrowing. Nothing. I just remembered I have to get ready. You stammered, your voice trembling slightly as you tried to cover up your excitement. Before Theo could question further, you bolted back upstairs, shutting your bedroom door behind you. Leaning against the door, you gasped in relief. Thank goodness. He didn't suspect anything. It had been a week since you had last seen Jungkook, who had gone abroad to visit his sister. The thought of him returning filled you with a mix of nervousness and excitement. You dashed to your bathroom, freshened up, and chose your outfit with more care than usual. After brushing your hair and adding a hint of perfume, you gave yourself one final glance in the mirror. Perfect, you whispered to yourself, your cheeks slightly flushed. Meanwhile, downstairs, the front door opened and Jungkook stepped in, greeted by Taeyong and your mother. He looked effortlessly handsome in his casual attire, his black hair slightly messy yet charming. Despite his quiet nature, there was a warmth to his smile that made everyone around him feel comfortable. Welcome back, Jungkook. How was your trip? Taeyong asked, giving him a pat on the back. It was good. I spent some quality time with my sister. Jungkook replied softly, his voice smooth and steady. You must be tired. Sit down, your mother said, gesturing to the dining table. She hurried to serve him breakfast. Oh no, auntie, it's fine. Please don't bother yourself. Jungkook protested politely, shaking his head. Nonsense. You haven't eaten properly all week, I'm sure. Now sit and eat, no arguments. Your mother insisted, her tone leaving no room for debate. Jungkook chuckled softly, his smile reaching his eyes. Okay, thank you, he said, sitting down at the table. He watched as she placed a plate of pancakes, scrambled eggs, and fresh juice in front of him. Tong sat across from him, crossing his arms. So, did you bring me anything from your trip? He asked with a teasing grin. Jungkook smirked slightly. Of course, but I'm not giving it to you until later. I'm still deciding if you deserve it. Yeah, Jungkook, don't tease me. Tang exclaimed, earning a laugh from your mother. Just then you came down the stairs, your heart racing as you spotted Jungkook. He glanced up, his eyes meeting yours for a fleeting moment. You froze in your tracks, feeling a mix of excitement and embarrassment. Tung noticed your hesitation. Why are you just standing there like a statue? Come and join us, he said, waving you over. I'm good, you muttered, fiddling with your fingers as you avoided Jungkook's gaze. Don't be shy, Van. Have breakfast with us. Your mother chimed in, her voice kind. Reluctantly, you walked to the table and sat down beside Theon, keeping your eyes fixed on your plate. Jungkook's presence felt overwhelming, but you tried to act normal. Why did you know Jungkook brought me a gift? Theon said, trying to rope you into the conversation. Oh, that's nice, you replied, glancing briefly at Jungkook. He was eating quietly, but his faint smile didn't go unnoticed. I brought something for you too, Jungkook suddenly said, his deep voice breaking through your thoughts. Your head shot up in surprise. For me, you stammered, your cheeks turning red. Yeah, I'll give it to you later, he said, his tone casual but his eyes holding a hint of amusement as they lingered on your flustered expression. What did you get for her? Taeyang asked, narrowing his eyes playfully. That's a secret, Jungkook replied with a small smirk, earning a groan from Taeyong. Your mother chuckled, watching the three of you. It's good to have you back, Jungkook. The house feels lively with you here. Thank you, Auntie. It's good to be back, Jungkook said. His voice was sincere. As breakfast continued, you couldn't help but steal glances at Jungkook, his calm demeanor, the way he interacted with your family, and even the way he smiled made your heart flutter. You silently promised yourself to act more composed the next time he spoke to you, if you're nervous. After breakfast, you asked Taeyong, Papa, can you drop me off at college today? Taeyong shook his head. I can't. My car is in the mechanic shop. You will have to take the bus, Ryan. You sighed dramatically. The bus? Really? Jungkook, who had been quietly sipping his coffee, spoke up. I'm going that way. I can drop you if you don't mind. Your heart skipped a beat at his offer, but you tried to play it cool. Before you could respond, Taeyong chimed in. That's perfect, let's go. I also have work in that direction. First we'll drop her off, then we'll head to the project site. Jungkook nodded. Alright. He got up to head out to start the car. Taeyong grinned. Let's go, Ryan. He walked toward the door and you followed, though you couldn't hide your disappointment. You had hoped for some private time with Jungkook, even if you knew he wouldn't talk much. When you got to the car, Jungkook suddenly paused. Ah, I forgot the keys inside. Be right back, he said before heading back into the house. The moment he disappeared, you and Taeyong rushed to the front passenger seat. I'm sitting here, you declared, gripping the door handle. No way, Van. This is my spot. Taeyong countered, pushing your hand away. You're not even the one being dropped off first. You argued. So what? I'm older. I get to sit in the front. You cross your arms. That's not a rule. I called it first. Calling it doesn't count, Taeyong retorted, sticking his tongue out at you. The two of you kept bickering each, trying to block the other from claiming the seat. The sound of footsteps interrupted your squabble, and you both turned to see Jungkook standing there, car keys in hand. He looked at the two of you, his expression a mix of annoyance and disbelief. What is this? Jungkook asked, raising an eyebrow. Are you guys trying to break my car door? You and Taeyong froze, then quickly backed away from the car. No, you mumbled, avoiding his gaze. Taeyong about the cheeky one smirk and slid into the front seat. Thanks, Jungkook, he said smirkily, sticking his tongue out at you again. You glared at him but didn't argue further. Silently, you climbed into the back seat. Jungkook glanced at you briefly, his expression unreadable, before getting into the driver's seat. He started the car and the drive began. From the back seat, you found yourself stealing glances at Jungkook. The way his hands gripped the steering wheel, the focus look in his eyes as he drove, everything about him seemed effortlessly perfect. You couldn't help but admire him, even if you were too shy to say anything. Why does he have to look so good while driving? It's unfair. And why doesn't he talk more? I mean, just one little conversation wouldn't hurt. Lost in your thoughts, you didn't realize that Jungkook had caught you staring at him through the rearview mirror. When your eyes met his in the reflection, you quickly looked away, feeling your cheeks heat up. A small, shy smile tugged at your lips as you tried to act like nothing happened. Suddenly, Taeyong's voice broke the silence. Jungkook, stop the car here. I just got a call. My work plans changed. The clients are coming to the office instead. I'll take a cab from here. Jungkook pulled over to the side of the road and Taeyong hopped out. See you later, Wan. Be good. He teased, waving. As he walked away, you waved back, trying not to look too excited about what this meant. With Taeyong gone, you could now sit in the front seat. You quickly got out of the car and moved to the seat beside Jungkook, fastening your seatbelt. Jungkook glanced at you as you settled in. Comfortable? He asked, his tone neutral. You nodded, trying to not seem too eager. Yes, thanks. The drive continued, and though the silence was a little awkward, you couldn't help but feel happy just being near him. You wanted to say something, anything to start a conversation, but your nerves got the better of you. Instead, you focused on the scenery outside the window, sneaking glances at Jungkook every now and then. I should say something, maybe ask him about his trip or thank him for dropping me off. But what if he thinks I'm annoying? Why this is so hard? You thought, biting your nails nervously. Finally, you mustered the courage to speak. Jungkook. He glanced at you briefly before returning his eyes to the road. Yeah, thanks for offering to drop me off. It's really nice of you. He shrugged slightly. It's not a big deal, Ryan. Encouraged by his response, he continued. How was your trip? Taeyong said. You went abroad to visit your sister. Jungkook's lip curled into a small smile. It was good. I spent some time with my family. You nodded, feeling a little more at ease. That's nice. It must be great to have a break from work. He chuckled softly, the sound making your heart flutter. The conversation might have been brief, but it was enough to make you feel like you would accomplish something. As the car approached your college, you couldn't help but wish the ride was longer. When Jungkook pulled up near the entrance, he turned to you. Here you go. You fastened your seatbelt and grabbed your bag. Thanks again, Jungkook. I really appreciate it. He nodded, his expression softening slightly. No problem. You were about to get out, but Jungkook stopped you. One, wait. You looked at him hesitantly, tugging your hair behind the ear. Yes, Jungkook, do you want to say anything? Here is your gift. He extended a clear box which has green stone bracelet with silver coated around. Your eyes shine by seeing the gift. You can't believe that he is giving you this expensive gift. Is it for me? You stammered in confusion. Yeah, don't you like it? He asked, unsure about your face expression. I think I cannot take this. It's looking like too expensive. You were gulping with hesitation, then Jungkook took your hand and put it on your wrist without any thought. I don't have a habit of taking the gifts which I got for my friends, he said stubbornly. You were about to deny again, but he didn't let that happen. Thank you said in whisper and stepped out of the car, leaving as you drove away. Your heart was still racing and a small smile lingered on your lips. Despite the awkward moments and your inner turmoil, the morning felt like a small victory. Jungkook had been your brother, Taeyong's best friend since high school. At first, you didn't think much of him. He was just another boy who hung out at your house, laughing and playing video games with your brother. But as you grew older, things began to change. Somewhere along the way, you started noticing how different he was from you. You were bubbly, cheerful, and clumsy, the kind of person who could trip over air and still laugh about it. Jungkook, on the other hand, was the exact opposite. He was calm, collected, and always focused on whatever he was doing. Maybe that's why you started falling for him. They say opposite attract, and in your case, it seemed to be true. Today was no different. As you stood in the hallway, staring at the bracelet Jungkook had given you, a soft smile formed on your lips. It was a delicate piece, silver with a small charm dangling from it. You traced your finger over the charm, lost in thought, when suddenly a familiar voice startled you. Is it gifted by Jungkook? Juhi's voice broke your reverie. You jumped slightly, turning to face your best friend. Ah, Juhi, you scared me, he exclaimed, clutching your chest dramatically. Sorry, my bad, Juhi said, holding her hands up in mock surrender. Her eyes sparkled with curiosity as she reached for your wrist. But what is this? It looks beautiful and expensive, she added, inspecting the bracelet closely. You sighed, trying to act nonchalant. It's a gift from Jungkook. Juhi's eyes widened in excitement. What? Jungkook gave this to you? Wow! So did he finally confess? She asked, her voice dripping with enthusiasm. Hmm, don't think too much about it, he said quickly, shaking your head. He's just treat me as a friend. The disappointment in your voice was hard to miss. Juhi wasn't convinced. A friend? Really? She asked, raising an eyebrow. Why? No. Guy gives a gift like this to just a friend, especially not something so thoughtful and expensive. It's obvious. You hesitated, her words stirring a flicker of hope in your heart. I don't know, Juhi. He said I'm just a friend before. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Juhi scoffed. Overthinking? Girl, open your eyes. The way he looks at you, the little things he does for you. It's clear as day, I bet. He's just waiting for the right moment to tell you how he feels. Let's see, you murmured, glancing down at the bracelet again. But I don't want to get my hopes up, Juhi. What if it's really nothing? Trust me, it's something, Juhi said confidently, giving your shoulder a reassuring squeeze. I bet he loves you. Your filled cheeks heat up at her words, but before you could respond, Juhi glanced at her watch. Oh no, we are going to be late for class. Let's go, you said, grabbing your bag and hurrying down the hallway with her. As you walked to your classroom, you couldn't help but replay Juhi's words in your mind. Could she be right? Did Jungkook feel the same way about you? As you and Juhi entered the classroom, you tried to push the thoughts aside and focus on the lecture, but no matter how hard you tried, your mind kept drifting back to Jungkook and the bracelet. Maybe Juhi was right. Maybe it was time to stop doubting and start hoping. For now, though, you would keep those thoughts to yourself. Days turned into weeks, and you would find yourself anxiously waiting for the perfect moment to confess your feelings to Jungkook. Deep down, you also secretly hoped he might confess first, but life, as it often does, threw an unexpected. One evening, you and Juhi decided to celebrate her big victory in a ramp walk competition by trying yourselves to dinner at a fancy restaurant. The atmosphere was lively as you both chatted and laughed. Savoring the moment, Juhi suddenly nudged you. Isn't that Jungkook? She whispered, pointing discreetly toward a table a few feet away. Your heart skipped a beat as you turned around. It was Jungkook, but he wasn't alone. Sitting across from him was a stunning woman. Juhi leaned closer, her curiosity piqued. Who is that beautiful woman? She asked, her voice low but insistent. You watched as Jungkook smiled, a genuine open smile, but that you hadn't often seen. He seemed so comfortable, talking and laughing freely, A pang of jealousy shot through you. I have never seen him like this, he mumbled, unable to look away. Juhi grinned mischievously. Let's move to the table behind them. No, Juhi, that's so embarrassing. You protested, but she had already grabbed your hand and dragged you to the table directly behind Jungkook and the mysterious women. You sat there, your heart racing, praying he wouldn't notice you. As you settled in, their conversation drifted to your ears. I'm so happy for you, Jungkook said warmly. You look beautiful tonight. Your chest tightened at his words. Jealousy bubbling within you, Juhi's jaw dropped. Didn't he just call her beautiful? She hissed. Enough, Jungkook, the woman replied, pinching his cheek playfully. You're more handsome than me. You're my baby, after all. Juhi blinked in surprise. Wait, did she pinch his cheeks too close, huh? You clutched your skirt in anger as a random woman pinched his cheek and he was enjoying it. It was frustrating and jealousy bubbling over you. Nuna, enough. It's embarrassing. Don't call me baby. I'm grown up now. Nuna? Wait, is that his sister? Relief washed over you as you remembered Jungkook was always open and affectionate with his sister who had recently gotten married. You exhaled deeply, a small smile forming on your lips. Nuna, you whispered to yourself, feeling silly for jumping to conclusions. The two continued their conversation, then his sister's tone shifted slightly. What about the girl? Jungkook tilted his head. Who? Your friend's sister. I forgot her name. You mentioned her on the phone once. She teased. Your eyes widened, your heart hammering in your chest. Was she talking about you? You held your breath, leaning slightly closer to hear his response. Ah, her. Jungkook's voice turned casual, almost dismissive. She's so annoying, Nuna, always clinging to me and acting childish. I get so irritated by her sometimes. I have never met anyone like her. The words hit you like a punch to the gut. Tears welled up in your eyes, but you quickly blinked them away, not wanting Juhi or anyone else to see. Juhi placed a comforting hand on your arm. Hey, don't listen to him, she whispered. Maybe he didn't mean it. But the hurt was too deep. You couldn't stay there any longer. You stood abruptly, your chair scraping loudly against the floor. Without another word, you rushed out of the restaurant, Juhi trailing after you. Jungkook quickly turned around as if he felt a sudden pain in his heart and eyes, searching for someone heart cannot tell the name about. Jungkook, are you okay? He shook his head. On the footpath outside, you broke down, tears streaming freely. I thought he might like me. You choked out, but I was wrong. He thinks I'm annoying. Juhi wrapped an arm around your shoulder. He doesn't know what he's missing. Forget him. You deserve better. I know it's hard, but I think I have to. That night you cried yourself to sleep, the sting of his words replaying in your mind. The next morning you came downstairs, your eyes puffy from the night before. Jungkook was already there, chatting with Young and your mother. Good morning, Jungkook greeted, his tone light. Morning, you replied curtly, avoiding eye contact as you headed to the kitchen. He frowned, noticing your uncharacteristic behavior. Usually you are bubbly and eager around him, but today you barely looked his way. Breakfast passed in strange silence. When it was time to leave for college, you asked him for a ride. Sorry, Van, he said, grabbing his bag. I have got urgent work and my car is at the mechanic. Jungkook, can you drop her off? You shook your head quickly. No, it's fine. I'll take the bus. Don't be stubborn, Theong insisted. Jungkook is going that way. Yeah, I will, Van. I'll be waiting in the car, he said and left near his car. reluctantly agreed, climbing into Jungkook's car with minimal words. The ride was awkward, with Jungkook glancing at you occasionally, trying to start a conversation. Did something happen? He finally asked, breaking the silence. Nothing, you replied shortly, staring out the window. When the car stopped in front of your college, you fastened your seatbelt and pulled the bracelet from your vest. Handing it back to him, you said, "Thanks for this gift, bro. I can't keep something so expensive." Jungkook's eyes widened in disbelief. "What did you just call me?" "Bro," you repeated firmly. "You're my brother's best friend, so you're like a brother to me, right?" His expression darkened, a mix of confusion and anger flashing across his face. "What the?" Before he could say more, you quickly exited the car, slamming the door behind you. Jungkook sat there, stunned. The word "bro" echoed in his mind, driving him crazy. What happened to this girl? Bro, I need to know what she's thinking and suddenly calling me bro. He pressed the accelerator and drove off from there. Later that night, he texted and called you repeatedly, demanding an explanation. But you ignored every message, leaving him more frustrated than ever. Calling him bro was your way of shielding your heart. It was a quiet afternoon, and you were curled up on the couch, flipping through the magazine. When Jungkook walked into your house, he looked casually handsome as always, dressed in black jeans and a white t-shirt that hugged his toned frame. His presence instantly filled the room with an air of authority. "Where is Tom?" Jungkook asked, scanning the living room with his piercing gaze. "He's at the office." You replied nonchalantly, trying to keep your cool, even though your heart raced every time he was near. "And your mom?" he asked, stepping closer. "She went to the market," you said, avoiding his gaze. A small smirk tugged at his lips as if he had just decided something. Without a word, he suddenly bent down and scooped you up effortlessly, throwing you over his shoulder. "Jungkook, what are you doing? Put me down!" you yelled, kicking your legs in protest, but he held you firmly as if you weighed nothing. "Not a chance," he said, his deep voice laced with amusement. You pounded your fists against his back, but he didn't even flinch. "Jungkook, stop, I mean it." He ignored your protests and carried you upstairs to your bedroom. Once inside, he gently set you down on the bed and locked the door with a decisive click. Turning back to you, he crossed his arms and looked at you with an intensity that made your heart hitch. "Now we are going to talk," he said firmly, his tone leaving no room for argument. "About what?" he asked, crossing your arms defensively, though your heart was pounding so loudly you were sure he could hear it. "Why you keep calling me bro?" he said, stepping closer to you. "What's that about?" You try to look away. "I don't want to talk about it, just let me go." But Jungkook was stubborn. He leaned down, pinning you gently to the bed with his hands on either side of your shoulders, his face just inches from yours. "No wine, you're going to tell me right now," he demanded, his voice low and commanding. "Why are you acting like this?" You glared at him, trying to push him away, but he didn't budge. "Fine," you snapped. "You want to know? I heard what you said at the restaurant." Jungkook's brows furrowed in confusion. "What are you talking about?" "Don't act like you don't know," you said, tears welling up in your eyes. "You told your sister that I'm annoying and childish, that I cling to you and irritate you." I heard every word, Jungkook. Realization dawned on his face as he pieced it together. "Wait," he said, sitting up slightly. "You're talking about what I said to my sister at the restaurant?" You nodded, biting your lip to keep from crying. Jungkook's expression softened, and he let out a small sigh. "One, you misunderstood. I wasn't talking about you." "You're right," you scoffed. "Who else would you be talking about?" My basketball teammate's sister, he explained patiently. She's been coming to our games and clinging to me even though I have made it clear I'm not interested. That's who I was talking about, not you. You froze, your mind racing. You expect me to believe that? Jungkook leaned closer, his dark eyes locking onto yours. Why would I lie about this? Think about it. My sister knows how I feel about you. Your heart skipped a beat. How you feel about me? He nodded, a small smile playing on his lips. Swan, I love you. Your eyes widened and you stared at him in disbelief. You what? I love you, he repeated, his voice steady and sincere. I have for a long time. That's why I bought those couple bracelets, but you returned yours and it hurt. Why do you think I have stuck around all this time? Tears filled your eyes again, but this time they were from guilt and overwhelming emotions. I'm sorry, Jungkook. I thought you hated me. He chuckled softly, brushing a stray tear from your cheek with his thumb. Hate you? How could I ever hate you, Juan? You're the most important person in my life. Your cheeks flushed, and you looked away shyly. Does this mean you don't want me to call you bro anymore? He smirked, his face inching closer to yours. Oh, you're definitely going to pay for that, he said playfully. Calling me bro over and over again, I think you deserve a little punishment. Punishment? You asked nervously, your heart racing as his lips hovered near yours. What kind of punishment? I think I'll start by making your lips mine, he murmured, his voice dropping to a whisper. Thank you for watching.